Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we got a little bit of a different topic slash different kind of video, more of a sit down kind of me just spewing some of my thoughts slash whatever I thought would be a good YouTube video idea. And some of you may know me in person, some of you may not, especially if you've met me before, if you grew up with me, or if you've been following me for a while, if you follow me on Instagram. And to get right into the point, today's video is about why I didn't go to college slash university, why I decided to not pursue that route, especially at such an early young age. I have a lot of people, they always come to me like, when did you know that you didn't want to go to school? Or like, how did you know you didn't want to go, or when, right? So I knew from a very young age, compared to most people, I mean, that I've met specifically. So around 13, 14, I knew I probably wasn't going to college, that I didn't want to go. And I feel like a lot of kids, they grow up, they don't really want to go to school, but not very many, I feel like, people at that age, or when you're that young, you don't really know, okay, yeah, I'm 100% not going to school, or like, yeah, school is a total scam, especially like 5-6 years ago. With that being said, I wanted to get into some key points I wanted to share with you guys today in this video. This isn't going to be some video where I just sit here and kind of bash the modern day educational system, just like every other YouTuber or person who's anti-college or anti-modern educational system. This is just kind of my more personal point of view on why I feel like it wasn't meant or a good fit for me, and maybe you can take some of these key points with you. Maybe you feel the same, or maybe you are in college or you have the same, kind of similar beliefs as me, but you're not really sure what to do, etc. I'm not really too sure, but I just feel like there's a lot of people that would be interested to hear my kind of point of view, because I feel like I have a different take on it. So before I kind of get on to my first real main point, besides money reasons, I wouldn't really say that it's kind of fair as an American. I'm only going to be able to speak from an American's perspective. I grew up in the US, so I'm not really going to say like what it's like if you went to college in the UK, or if you went in like another country, whatever it is, France or Spain or Italy or whatever. So I'm going to say from my perspective as an American and the American school education system, money really isn't a huge factor if you really understand how the system works. You can go to school through multiple different ways, and if you really wanted to go and you were dead broke, like if you were like super poor and you really couldn't afford college, you could go to like a free school and then get credits or something and move up, blah blah blah. There's a whole different kind of system you can go through, bypass, to get a college degree if that's really what you're looking for. And even if you don't pass a major, like from a major like big league school, you can still get the qualifications and certifications for certain job titles that you would need regardless of going to a major school. So it's not like money is a real huge factor, but yeah, I mean, I understand some people are gonna be like, oh, I can't afford it, and blah, blah, blah. It's true, you can't afford it after the fact, but to get into school, it's not really like, honestly, the major playing factor. It's more after, when they kind of hand you the bill, like, here you go, here's how much this piece of paper costs. So my very first key point is opportunities. For me, I didn't feel like college or the traditional education route was going to give me the opportunities that I wanted. And there's kind of this saying that goes, opportunities arise when you look for them. And this kind of goes, or it's kind of more about when you're stuck to this lifestyle, routine environment, you're not going to be having this open mind, this kind of outlook on life where you're going to be able to look for these opportunities that arise in the niche or areas that you would want them to. Maybe they'll happen in that environment, right, in the school system, whether it's making a friend or maybe finding the answers to some test or whatever it may be, right? So the opportunities that I would want, opportunities that I would be looking for the lifestyle that I would want, the college route wouldn't be able to provide that for me. I knew that no matter what, even if I did go to school, that college wasn't going to be my main focus. I was going to try and focus on every other thing besides that, because I knew the places I wanted to be, the things I wanted to do were completely unrelated or outside of that kind of environment, that ecosystem. And so tying my second key point into that ecosystem is your network, your friends, the people you hang around. There's a famous saying that goes, you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around with. And if you're going to be spending spending all your time at school, especially having to study, going to the library, going to cafes, and having to just spend all your time in a textbook and have to memorize all this information, you know, the people you're going to be hanging around with aren't the people that you're going to want to be like, right? They're just other students, whatever, you know, you share dumb stories, you have a good laugh, whatever, but those aren't the people that I want to be able to learn from, especially the professors. They're not people that are going to actually teach you how to run a business, how to do marketing, how to do, you know, sales, how to build a brand, etc. During school, I always had a hard time kind of blending in or making friends, I would say. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily an introverted, a huge introvert, but I definitely didn't fit in, I would say. But it's really wasn't like, I didn't think of it like that. You know, I think when you're a kid, you don't really think of it like that. It's only like after, when you have reflected, that like some kids or other kids would treat you a different way, and it is what it is, right? But I think that I had a hard time just in general connecting with the students and the student mindset. I think that I didn't have that same mindset. So I knew that I wanted to develop a network of like-minded individuals. And that's kind of why I've started Brand Excel, my community group for entrepreneurs who want to build a personal brand. And that's because I want to be able to attract, and I want to be able to build a network of other high net worth, high quality people around me that are also interested in the same things that I'm interested in, because simply it's not very easy and it's not very common to kind of be able to connect with people about things that they just don't understand. And because the student mindset is not the mindset of the student of life. The same person in two different environments is going to have two different mindsets, right? So if you take a college kid, for example, who has to pass all his tests at the end of the year or exams or whatever, and you have a kid who's outside of school and he's trying to learn everything about life and all these different aspects and constantly going through different obstacles in, you know, many different areas and being tested. Your mindset has to be different. Your outlook, your view on life has to be different than the kid who kind of just knows, okay, I know I need to memorize this. If I memorize this, it'll be okay. Your mindset is a bit, I would say, constrained. You don't have this fruitful student mindset of life. Now there's two types of students, right? So you have, like I said, the student who's actually like in a school, they teach you how to be programmed. And then you have the student of life who's more open, more, I guess, like you have more of a sparkle in your eye, you know, when you see things, and you're more ambitious, you're more charismatic about learning, about doing things, because you feel like you have room to grow. You're progressing with yourself, if I may say. And so moving on to my third point, which is time. The time spent in college, especially at such a young age. I'm turning 21 in a couple of days now. Maybe by the time you guys are watching this, I'm already 21. But I knew from a very young age that time is very valuable, and that why would I want to go to school, or why should you be forced to spend such crucial years of your life from 18 to 20, 21, which I think if I was going to school, I'd probably be finishing this next coming year. So my year of 21, so I'd be turning 2 to probably finishing. If that's 4 years. The time you spend is very valuable, and it shouldn't take months to learn a specific subject, or how to do a specific equation, or who invaded who in like the 1700s. So I just knew that from a very young age. I knew that like sitting in math class, I'm like, or history, I'm like, why does it take 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to learn a specific subject? Like, why? Like, we already understood who invaded who, or we did that. Like, maybe I understood things, but I just don't understand why we needed to spend 8 weeks or 4, 5, 6 weeks on a specific topic and not just kind of move on. I mean, then you break it down, you realize that the classroom is built like not for specific individuals, it's built to kind of follow everyone. And so there's a saying that goes like, you're just as strong as the weakest link, something like that. So if one kid in the class is struggling, or few people at the bottom don't really understand the subject, the teacher's going to extend it longer, even though the people at the top understand. And it's good, but it is what it is. So the time is very valuable, and I feel like it just wasn't a good fit for me, especially when I knew I could take these years and propel myself monumentally farther than my peers at the age than when they get out of college at 22, 21. If I'm making thousands of dollars a month, or traveling the world, you know, learning new languages, I'm learning French, doing things that I'm passionate and I feel happy to do and I feel fulfilled to do, that's because I took the time to kind of understand myself, and I just kind of knew that's just how things were. I mean, I have two kind of viewpoints growing up. I mean, I have a Middle Eastern dad, and my dad, he's if you know anything about Middle Eastern fathers, they're against the matrix, let's say that. So I kind of had that like opposite force from a very young age in my ears. I guess it's kind of something I look back at now and I'm kind of like laughing, like times and moments when I've had arguments with my dad and I'm like, I truly was an agent of the matrix because I was just spewing knowledge that I didn't know anything about. And my dad, who is someone who has a lot of real life experiences, would argue with me and tell me I'm dumb and I don't know anything. And it's just, I don't know, if you guys are half Middle Eastern or come from a Middle Eastern background, you'll know how aggressive they can be, and it's kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, time is very valuable. I don't think anyone should be wasting their time. If you can figure out how to use your time wisely and you know that something is taking away from your time, then you should really reevaluate your situation and see how you can make things better. And so with that being said, my very last key point is probably something you guys wouldn't really expect, but it is legacy. I knew that if I wanted to be somebody, college wasn't going to make a difference whether I went or didn't go. I knew that it was up to me to create a name for myself. And I knew from a very young age, I wanted to create a name for myself. I would sit on my phone and watch these YouTubers or watch movies and with my dad or with my family going to the movie theaters, or I would watch content on my phone. All these people doing these cool things, creating cool movies, actors, you know, admiring big celebrities and admiring YouTubers back in the day. I knew that I wanted to do something similar. I wanted to create a name for myself. I wanted to be somebody. And I knew that going to the college route wasn't going to kind of have an effect on that. And so I was like, yeah, well, why would I go? That's kind of more of a dumb kind of answer, but it's really true. I mean, if you know who you are and you kind of have an understanding and you know the things you really want in life, I really understood that. And I was like, okay, like, look, like if I want to be this type of person, I'm going to have to lay out a plan, kind of get an understanding. And so I knew that. I just knew that if I wanted to build a name for myself, if I wanted to create a legacy and build an empire and build something crazy or massive or something admirable, no one's going to give a shit if I went to college or not. So that's kind of a huge thing for me, at least, was having a legacy, being somebody and building a name for himself. And so I saw that not going to college was almost more of an opportunity, or a greater opportunity to say, than going to college. Because if I would have went, that would have massively reduced the timeline potentially of getting to where I wanted to be. So you kind of have to look at life in these certain aspects, right? So if you do something, you have to kind of look at where you might end up compared to another route, especially if you have a goal that you want to get to. Because maybe you could get through to the same path, but which path will be better, which path will be faster, which path will be a safer route, which path will be more dangerous, right, etc. You guys get the point. And so yeah, I mean, I knew that if I wanted to be somebody, I knew that going to college really wasn't going to do it for me. So before I end the video, I want to touch on a quick little point, not a main key point, but a quick point that I see a lot of people kind of forget or not understand about life. And that is, just because I didn't go to college doesn't mean I decided to stop learning. And that after school, or once school was over, or once I finished high school or whatever, that I didn't have to learn anything anymore. And that is completely false. If you're debating on whether you should go to college or leave college or whatever it is, whatever your situation is don't think you got to stop learning. I mean, life is about learning. When our teachers said to us when we were growing up, every day you learn something new, that is 100% true. Whether it's about yourself, whether it's about a specific skill, or whatever it is, right? You learn something new every day, no matter what. And I've seen too many kids that I grew up with not understand this fact, that they would go home after school and turn their brains off and almost be programmed to kind of be nothing. And I didn't. I knew that from a very young age, that if I wanted to do something or after school, that it wasn't time to just fuck off. Understanding, educating myself on different topics, whether it was investing, crypto, drop shipping, marketing, all these different subjects. I took courses, I took all these different things. I mean, I spent like $1,000 at like 16 for a personal branding course, and my mom was like super pissed because she didn't know what it was. She thought I got scammed. So it's like there's so many different things outside of school that you need to learn and you need to develop, whether it's with yourself or when it comes to learning a skill or business. Just because school's over doesn't mean you stop learning. So if you take one thing from this video, please remember that once school's over, once you finish school, or if you are currently done with school and you don't kind of understand that aspect of life that you have to learn. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Bit of a different video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.